Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of BloomrPulse. My name is Tabitha, and today on this episode, we're going to take a look back at 2023. I cannot believe we are already done with that year. Like that's crazy. Like time has just flown by so quick. I've got 3 guests here with me today, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Ruru, you want to start?
I'm Ruru Sama, and I do cosplay and also content creation. I also do TikTok.
Hi, I'm Thomas K, SEA Games silver medalist, scriptwriter, producer, content creator. I'm doing too much lah.
Hi, I'm Kaden Sers. I do content on TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Short and sweet.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's just jump right into it. Guys, let's start on a high, okay? Let's talk about the best moments of 2023. Anybody want to jump in and start out first? Like, what was your highlight? Give me the highlights reel of your year.
Is it too early to think about that?
Yeah.
No
What
way.
if we say that and then...
Okay, you just finished AFA. That's got to be your highlight of your year, I
Kind
feel.
of. Yeah, one of the highlights. So I basically did one of the biggest events that I have ever done in my life. I've never done. It's like a booth at a convention called Anime Festival Asia. I'm going back to my roots on being a cosplayer.
Nice.
Or something. Yeah, and a lot of money and time was spent to like make like merch and like creating activities. It was just me and another person running the whole thing. So yeah.
Sick. So how long was this convention? Like
It was
2-3 days or
3 days. It was just yesterday it ended.
Oh,
so
shit,
it was
okay.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, that's how you guys know when we were filming this. But yeah, it was just yesterday it ended. Yeah, I cried so hard. Everyone was
like tears of joy, right?
I'm not sure if it comes from like a sign of relief that this is over. It's probably that. Yeah, that's my high.
Oh, sick. Okay, that's so cool. What about you guys? Cadences, you have anything?
I have this thing where I'm afraid when I share what good things happen, suddenly it just goes downhill from there.
No.
Oh
What
my
happens
God.
whenever I tell my friends something good is happening, it just goes downhill from there. So
You
I
don't
just
like jinx it, right?
Yeah.
Your one was second best.
Second best, okay. The highlights of this year was this is so cliche and like so but like discovering who I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about that.
Like just like finding out because it's always been like since 18 years old I've learned like, oh, it's good to be independent, it's good to be this, good to be that. I feel like this year was the year that I had to put that into practice. Like it's like the universe testing me like, okay, you've learned all of this, now show me.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I feel like the highlight was like me kind of like really exploring different aspects of myself. Yeah.
Right.
And also this shirt that I got from Japan. It's not really a shirt, but okay, let me show you why I like it. Because it's it's a bag,
What?
but it's also a shirt.
What?
So I can sling it over, and it's an actual bag. You can actually, I put my perfume here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but it's like, look, see?
I love it.
Yeah, it was $170.
This is cool. This is
It
was
actually-
how much?
It's 170.
Would I pay 170 for that? I'm just trying to think.
But it's the only shirt it's the only thing that I spent in Japan.
Well, technically it's a
I've
shirt and
never
a bag.
seen anyone
Yeah.
else
Yeah.
have this.
Yeah.
Metrics, right? Some would have goal-driven stuff. Some would have like numerics, like, okay, I want to earn X amount. So for me, I think it's neither of that. So it's hard for me to pinpoint one big goal which I achieved. But I think the whole thing about me this year after I left my job was to find the perfect process for myself to enjoy throughout everything. So whether it went down or up, that process I would enjoy. And it's also because I like to do many, many different things. Whatever comes onto my plate that I feel might be fun, I would want to jump on that opportunity.
Right.
So this year has been a lot of that. So, you know, freelance script writing, producing, managing some talents, still focusing on my content creation. It's like everywhere all at once, but everything was fun for me to do. So it was like 24/7 work, but it was so fun that it's just this whole process that I'm just happy to be a part of, and then to see how I can continue scaling it for next year. Yeah.
How do you juggle that many different
Yeah,
things?
I feel like that moves on to the next
cry.
topic. But so this thing also is something that I really pinned down for this year, which made my processes super easy. So it comes down to two things, right? One is knowing your limits, and two is compartmentalizing everything. So I keep a very strict notepad on my phone.
Yeah.
On actually Telegram, I just have it in my personal notes.
Yeah.
So it's compartmentalized into like managing talents has into different genres.
Yeah.
So managing talents is one. So all talent kind of responsibilities is under one chunk. Emails is under one chunk. My personal engagements under one chunk. So everything is there like a big to-do list.
And
so
like super organized, so you can see things like...
Because if you have that much things, your mind can only load that much memory at once, right? Especially if you're younger and everyone's going to suffer from ADHD nowadays. So there's only so much your mind can juggle at once. So if you have it pinned down, I cannot think about anything but the task ahead of me. Finish that, then I come back to the list and go, what else can I do today? What else am I going to do tomorrow? Like leave it for tomorrow. And then at like 8 or 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. or whatever time it is, basically at the end of the day, you give yourself that 2-3 hours that I'm done for the day. I'm not going to touch any work. I'm just going to shut down and play games or zone out. There's no distractions. My mom can't even talk to me during that time, and it's totally just resetting yourself. So that knowing your limits and how much energy you have to spend on each task, I think is very, very important.
Yeah, that is super important. I feel like that's a skill that I only developed like a little bit later on
That's
in
what I
my
was about to say.
career.
I was like,
Because, like I remember in the first couple of years, like there was no off button.
100%. So for them, for these two, I believe there's no off button.
Yeah.
They would keep going and they'll be like, I can do this, I can do more.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I can do even more.
Yeah.
But it's like once you get up to that, like I don't
there's
know
a
whether it's
risk
too
of
early to say
burnout.
like the late 20s, early 30s, you start
honestly.
feeling this like you can see someone going crazy with numbers and all that they're doing and you just realize I can't do that anymore. Roller coaster, but how do I make sure that at least my emotions are kind of in between and not so crazy?
Thomas, you mentioned like goal-driven stuff, right? So I'm just wondering, like, was there, like, do you guys do New Year's resolutions? And did you make one for 2023? And did you achieve it?
I actually did.
You did?
Yeah. So I have this thing where I like to write down like my intentions and then burn them.
Oh,
Yeah, I
wow.
will burn them.
Like
so
a
when,
ceremony.
Yeah,
like
so when I release it to the universe, like, okay, it's done.
He has the wildest rituals, can I say?
I love
I had him
that.
I had him on a stream and he was there like lighting up incense and like casting out demons.
Say?
That's the career aspect, like what I want to achieve this
Yeah.
year. Then I also, I think one of it was like to keep what's meant for me in my life and to be able to let go what's not meant for me. So that was something that I just wrote down, and I realized it did manifest throughout the months of this year. Yeah.
That's sick.
So that
Like,
was
do,
my.
do you guys believe in that, like manifesting, and like
Oh, manifesting, yeah.
of
like
course.
putting your what you
Energy.
want out into the putting it
Yeah.
out into the universe and then receiving it back. Like, do you
Yeah.
think that's a
Yeah.
thing, or is it too like hippy dippy?
I feel
No, I
that.
feel like people believe that these days.
Yeah.
I think it's a good practice to like tell yourself that, hey, we can do this. I think it's just kind of
Yeah,
It's
like
like-
I would have like I
Yeah.
don't really have New Year resolutions, like because most of the goals I set I end up like not doing them. But that general process of having like this year I want to focus on these couple of things, right?
Yeah.
I want to do this, do that, do that. And then just kind of like always going back to it, having a kind of like a compass to guide you. Though
Right.
you don't really know where you're going, but at least that general direction, right? And then just small milestones in between and then making sure you celebrate on those small milestones.
actually it's weird
That's-
because like he started off now by doing this kind of thing, like having
Yeah.
more organized stuff. But
Yeah.
I used to be really, really organized. But I
Used
stopped
to
doing
be.
that. No, but I stopped doing that because I realized I was really, really constricted by my own ideals of what I want to achieve. So this year I told myself, okay, whatever comes, come. Whatever don't come, don't come. Okay, so I decided not to write anything down. I even threw away a notebook. I was like, I'm not using this notebook this year anymore.
Damn.
So
She meant business. She threw it
yeah,
away.
I threw it away. No, I even
He's
bought
burning
it.
things.
Yeah, he's
she's
burning
throwing
things. She's
things
throwing
away.
things away.
I was
It's just us boomers going
Yeah.
like, let's write things down.
In our notes.
I used to do that a lot, and like maybe because like in my previous agency there's a lot of things to do, so I write it down.
Yeah.
But this year I really just wanted to focus on like brand work. So I was like, okay, let's manifest it. But I didn't write anything down.
Yeah.
I was like, if it comes, it comes. I'll just work hard as usual.
Yeah.
And then if it comes, then I'm like.
Did
great.
you find that freeing to not
It's
have it
better.
like staring at that list all the time and being like putting pressure on yourself? Was it?
I feel pressured not having the list.
Oh.
Like you kind of feel stressed because you don't have something to like look forward to, probably.
Okay,
people
okay, I can
relate to
understand that.
Yeah, so I was like, but I think what it gave me was a freedom of like, oh, I didn't know that I could do this, or like maybe I should focus on that. Like, oh, this came, and then maybe I should do that instead. So like
Yeah.
a lot of like odd small changes that I would never have done if I were to like follow my plan for this year.
Sick. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, I hate to do this because I like to focus on the positive side of things. But were there any negatives or like situations in the year where you were like, oh my gosh, I really was not expecting this to happen? And what was your takeaway from that? Because like there's everything that happens has a learning point. So what was the learning point for you guys in the year?
I think for me, like, I lost someone very special to me, and I realized it was because I was trying for something that was not really meant to be. Yeah, so, and I think what I learned from that was the universe can only like execute its plan for you when you let it be. So what I realized was it was a very unhealthy dynamic, and I just let go of it and just trusted that if this person is meant to be in my life, things will work out fine, and guess what? Things did work out fine, and I think our dynamics now are much healthier than before.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's just like really wondering, like, being able to trust. Something that he said that really resonated with me is being like comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
I kind of got that from you. Like say like, oh, you have this so many things you're carrying out. You don't really know sometimes where it's going and everything. I think it's something that, cause I'm a major like control freak when it comes to my life. Like I want things to go out this way. When it don't, I start to spiral. Like, oh my god, is it going to go wrong? And then when it comes to my relationships too, I want to control them. But the thing is, some people don't like being controlled, or
Yeah.
situations don't like being controlled. And that's
Yeah.
something that I had to learn to let go and just trust that if it's meant to be, they would somehow find their way back into my life again.
So you and your, I'm gonna assume friend,
Yeah.
like you're still like friends now? Like you're rekindled that
Like
friendship?
for some reason, I just said to the universe, like if it's meant to happen, if you are meant to stay in each other's lives and be friends, then make it happen. If not, then fizzle out. You know what I mean? In the
Yeah.
most peaceful way possible. And then we will bump into each other either in public, or we'll bump into each other at random places. There will be situations that will put us in the same room, kind of situations, and I'll just be like, oh damn, I guess there is something more that I guess we can be friends again, kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are situations where I just go like, if they're not meant for me, then fine, and I just don't touch it, and then they just go out of my life forever.
Yeah.
So
Right,
those.
right.
But you
yeah.
were getting signs of like, oh, this person's still like constantly around. I'm still like
Yeah.
seeing this person all the time.
that might mean something.
Yeah.
But it was a really unhealthy one, because I think it was very unbalanced in that sense, where I was I became like unhealthy even
Like
for
you,
me.
you were trying too much on
Yeah.
your side kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of situation, and I think it just became, and I learned a lot, like to like let go and just trust that if it's meant to happen, it will happen.
That's the hardest part though, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
relinquishing control.
Yeah.
Like, because you always want to think that you have, like, you can decide how things are going to go down.
You can
But,
never.
like, you can't.
You
And,
never
like,
can
that's the
never.
scary part, just
Yeah.
being like, I don't know what is out there, but I'm just going to, like, give myself to it, and then whatever happens, happens. Like, that's so scary.
But when I was young, I had very little thought about what I was going to do the next week or even the next day. And things worked out the best for me during that first years of my life.
Oh yes,
Yes,
I was just talking
It's so
to my
true.
parents about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were like, when I was younger, my mom would always come up to me and say like, you have to think about what are you going to do in 5 years, 10 years? I'm like, that brought nothing.
Correct.
And we were having my birthday dinner,
Yeah.
and we were talking about this exact point that, you know, none of the things we talked about then came through. But it was just because, you know, I started to go with the flow and started to adapt to whatever is being thrown at me by life. And then we started to develop these like new milestones and successes and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the consistency for my life, at least. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure there are people out there who like, oh, I want to earn 100K this year. They do it and then they get it done, you know?
Yeah.
But for me, it's always like the less I chase, but the more I go with the flow of things tend to come along, you know?
I agree
which is
with
kind
that.
of, you know,
I feel
that
like
also.
my year has been like that. Like 2023 has been like a wake-up call for me to be like, stop trying to map out every single thing and just adapt as the situations come. And I find it so much more freeing as well because I've realized just how adaptable I am. And like there's literally nothing that you can throw at me and I'm not going to be able to like come out on top of. And that's been such an empowering like realization for me this year, and I feel like such a badass. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Are you gonna bleep that out? I feel like such a bad beep. But yeah, it's just it's been so freeing.
I actually wonder if it's because like there's just so much happening nowadays that it's almost impossible to say I choose one thing and I'll do that. You know?
I think maybe for you guys it's like that, but with me it's the opposite again. It's like I'm a person like, okay, if I want to earn 100K this year, that's my goal, and I will do, in regards of whatever happens, I'll try my best to do it, to get it done. So like whether it's like I say I'm only gonna do one event in Singapore this year, and I'm gonna do it big, and I did it big, and I did it, and it's done. So like for me, that was like my goal. And usually most of the times, I feel like it's like, oh, if you don't have any big goals, it's fine and stuff like that. You know, mini milestones, yes, it works. But I think for me, I prefer having like just a big goal for this year and just count it as, because I used to be a control freak as well. Like I want to micromanage every single thing that's like upcoming to my booth. I was still kind of like that. I was like, show me the designs. No, please change this color to like 0.1 CDF color, please, thank you. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I was still doing that, but I think what changed is that there's only one goal, like to reach that and to complete that in the best way that I could do. And like, I'm not a very small milestone person, so like I'm just like, I can do and do and do. It's like this year I traveled like, there was a period this year, I think like for 3 months I was on a plane like, I don't know, like 20 times. So I was like, I'm never doing this again.
You know, like I do want to give a disclaimer, like, because it really goes, it's really important for you to understand what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
are a goal-driven person, there is
Yes.
nothing wrong with either of the methods. Like
Yep.
a lot of like, especially the Fin Bros online, you know, their motivation is like 10K
Go
in
big
a
or
day,
go home.
you know, like,
Yeah.
and that's so powerful for some people.
Yeah.
But for me, I realized that through, I think it was last year and the year before, that metric didn't work for me,
yeah.
which was why I started talking to a lot of different people. And then now I have this thing where it's like small milestones, celebrate that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know whether my next video goes viral, but like if suddenly it like hits like 1 million views, I'm like, yay, but that doesn't earn me anything, you know? So it's like, we're already moving on to the next thing, but you still have to celebrate that little victory, that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So it's very hard for me. It's like when someone says like, what's your proudest moment? Like, I really don't have one, but I know all the tiny little moments that make me very happy through the year. Like, I can name like 100 small tiny moments, but I can't name you that one
Big
like
one.
big
Big
major
thing,
thing.
yeah.
Like I'm sure like within the next year, like I can plan that, okay, on my 30th, you know, I want to host a concert. I know that that's happening, but I can't be sure, like,
Yeah.
you know, of all the things that are going to happen, you know. So find the mentality that works for you, the motivational
Yep.
route that works for you. I think that's super important.
It's like,
Yeah.
I like to see it as like, when you have a goal, it's like telling the universe, I want to bake this cake. But then like, you can't have like a fixed route of how you're going to bake the cake. Who will provide the eggs for you? Who will give you the
Random
flour?
ingredients.
Like,
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
if you give two different people like, oh, bake this butter cake by tonight, they would come up with a different recipe. They will come up with a different method to bake it, different way to beat the eggs, everything.
That's such a great
Yeah.
analogy,
Yeah, yeah.
actually.
And I think people have a lot of control over that process. They are okay with the end goal of like, I want this, but the process of getting there is where we sometimes need to let go. I mean, for me, I need to let go because I'm like, okay, I need to get there. I mean, one example was I had this one really big brand deal that I really, really wanted so badly, and I was like pushing so hard for it. I was like, I kept like bugging them like, is this happening? Is this happening? Is this happening?
Yeah.
Then after that, they were like, start telling me like, I'm so sorry, no. Then I was like, oh my god, I really wanted it. And then the following week, a competitor brand reached out, and I've been working with them for like 6, 7, 8 months already. If I had gotten the one before,
Oh my
they would
God.
have seen me in that ad or like see me in that and then not chosen me for the for the better
Yeah.
one.
Next one.
So
Yeah.
I think it's just like letting go and really trusting that if you put because my manifestation was to be in a ad big scale, but the competitor brand reached out first. I was like okay, never mind. I didn't get it. It's fine. I just trust that something better will come. Yeah.
I'm
When
here
one
trying
door
to guess what the ad
closes.
is. I'm like,
Everyone's scrolling through our Instagram right now.
No, but I think
Competitor brands, who are they?
like I think it's even worse when you're a influencer. All right, when you do jobs which are not as like consistent, because you tend to need to let go when you're not even sure you're gonna get a next paycheck next month.
Correct, yeah.
So it gets even more scary. So I think that part really comes into the like believing that you are good enough to get another job,
And
and
it's- yeah.
that trust is very difficult.
It's stressful
Yeah.
every day, but yeah.
Yeah, like that basically letting go of certain jobs because you don't want to do them or you believe
They're not in line with
yeah,
who
you're
you
not in line
are
with you, things
as a
like that.
person or a brand.
It's tough as an influencer, lah, but
Yeah.
it's very
You're
important.
gonna get attacked for the people be like, oh my god, you think it's tough as an influencer? Like you're gonna be no.
It's okay. Feel free to slide into my DMs and ask me. I'll give you a 1-hour like paragraph write up of exactly what's difficult and what's not.
Slide into his DMs, you heard that, guys.
Sorry. It's almost Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, when people start to understand, they realize like it's like I would say, why I do what I do is because I would be a social media creator any time in the day compared to sitting in an office. But
Yeah.
the difficulties of it is beyond that of routine stuff. Also, there are a lot of different kind of metrics. So of course,
Yeah, there are definitely pros and cons to like
Yeah.
all of it. Ruru, is there anything negative that happened this year that you maybe want to share and what you've learned from that?
Actually, for some reason, I feel like I can't really think of any negative thing.
That's good though.
No, it's also because my event just ended yesterday. I just felt like, oh my
You're on
god,
a
I'm
high.
done. I'm
Yeah,
done
yeah,
for the
yeah.
year. I've manifested what I wanted. It was just yesterday. The high was too high. I can't really think of it right now.
Fair
But
enough.
if I really want to say, it's maybe like losing a family member.
Oh.
But
what?
my
family
Family
member.
member.
I'm so sorry.
no, it's okay. He's probably happy now. It's like, my grandfather passed away this year. It was actually really hard because I was in the midst of preparing for a lot of other jobs, and like I was in Korea when he was like on the verge of like passing
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
So I even tried to like book a flight earlier back, but I couldn't because there was no more flights from Korea. Regardless of airlines, there was only the flight at 6 p.m. So I took the
Oh.
flight. It felt like a K-drama, TBH. I was like, I got on a flight, get off the flight, immediately went to the hospital.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, and after just a bit, like he waited, and then he just passed away.
Oh man.
So
Yeah,
you waited
so-
until you climbed in.
Yeah, and then he passed away, and it was really tough because I couldn't. I don't want to share too much negative feelings online. I did post like asking for advices on Facebook, but not on Instagram because I feel like on Instagram people are always just looking for good vibes, So I just feel like it's my personal house matter, so I don't really wanted to post on. So nobody actually knew that it happened, and I had many client jobs lined up at a period of time like that.
Yeah.
At a period of time too, so I was actually having a hard time. Like I was at a funeral editing videos.
Ah.
You're a
Yeah.
girl boss.
No, but I'm sure he understands.
Yeah.
My granddad is kind of a
Oh yeah.
yeah, like he at like 80 years old, he was still riding his motorcycle and with his
Yeah.
helmet. And
Oh
like
my gosh.
And his
I'm
Harley.
just imagining like you're burning papers halfway and then you're like, hold on, let me edit this, and then your grandpa's like taking the money and then he's like, never mind, do first.
It's probably there though. Yeah.
He's as
sounds
driven as
chill.
you are. lah.
Sorry.
He's as driven as you are.
He's a very cool guy. He's just a cool old man. Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Yeah, I told you he's 80 and he still wants to ride his motorcycle. And he was
Damn.
really sad when like my dad refused to renew his like COE thing
Oh my
for his bike because they're like, you're too old, stop it. And he's like, why? But I'm still fine. Yeah, so that happened. Yeah, he's a really cool dude. I'm
Cool
sure he's
grandpa.
yeah.
Oh, I love that. Thomas, is there anything that you want to share? Any sort of
Negative? I mean, I was thinking about it because this was in the notes in our
Yeah.
brief. And yeah, I'm kind of the same. I don't think I can really think of a low.
Yeah.
So I think there are two reasons why. One is we talked about whether it's high or low, it's all part of my process.
Yeah,
so
and
if I
finding
know
that
that it's a low now,
Yeah,
I know that if I push through this, the next moment is just going to be better.
because it's just
you know?
temporary,
Yeah,
right?
or
It's
like
not,
these moments like kind of just like propel you up. Yeah. But the other thing is also that I think I surround myself with the right people. It sounds very
That's
cliche,
very
but and I
important.
actually think
It's
it's
so
harder than
important.
it sounds to have an
yeah.
or to not interact with them at all.
Yeah.
And having that kind of circle and different, okay, this might be a little bit like, you have different friends for different reasons. Okay, there are
Yes.
certain friends who are there when you go through a breakup. There are certain friends who you talk to because you want to speak ideas or you want to speak career stuff. I would probably hit up, Cadences if I wanted some crazy idea to collab on,
And there are friends
Yeah.
that you just hit up for gossips.
And and there are friends which you hit up and you
For
just talk
tea.
about tea and just
Yeah.
like let loose once in a while. And I feel like through life, I figured out all these different kind of friends and I try to keep them around again and again, So, and I'm lucky to say that all these friends are not high maintenance. They don't message me like, hey, every week, hey,
Yeah.
meet. No,
Oh
like
my gosh,
my secondary
yes.
school friends, for example, they're some of the most grounded people, right? I can go there and tell them like, oh, this happened to me, and they're like, bro, normal. I'm like,
is what it is.
Okay, I just lost the foot, normal. I'm like, what? So like, I meet them like once every like 4 months.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. They
Yeah.
like still treat me like they haven't missed a day without me, that kind of thing, So I would say
They
that.
didn't.
Yeah, huh?
They didn't miss a day.
Yeah. So I'm like, I would say that's why I think I'm going through the year
think
like fantastically.
That point, like, it comes also with like knowing yourself a lot.
What you can accept, kind of thing.
Yeah, what you want to accept and what you want to like take, because I feel like it took me quite a bit of time to realize which friends are meant to be part of my life and which are a bit too high maintenance. Like that is like one of the words that like my partner and I have like used talking about like our group of friends that we actually now are not close with anymore because we've realized that we just are not vibing and we've just been trying to put too much into it. And it's so important because now I feel like I have a really good core circle of friends that I know that I can like call on. It doesn't matter if I haven't texted them or they haven't texted me in months, but like the moment we like sit down and talk, it's like no day has passed. Like, and those friends are so important because it's like life is busy. Like people are busy working on themselves, working on their goals. Like we don't have time to like constantly give parts of ourselves. And I feel like that's something that I've learned this year, which I feel has made my relationships a lot stronger with the people that I have chosen to keep in my life.
It reminds me, like, I have this one best friend, like we were really very close last time. We would meet like once a month, that kind of thing. But now it's like we probably only met like once in the last 3 years. And she's probably moved from best friend to like friend tier already, unfortunately. But, but the thing is, like, I think those are the kind of like wins and losses that you take. That this is the natural flow of life that you can't control. And the fact that they're still around and they're still friends, I think that's something that I'm already just grateful for. And that part about the energy thing, I think is so important. Like just knowing how sustainable you can be in terms of a support for each other. Like, okay, maybe not to jump too deep into this, but it's like if someone asks you to be their support, right? It's your responsibility to also know whether you can be that person for them.
Yes.
I think that's so important. Because if you can't, right, it's going to be this false hope where every time they call you, you're going to pick up. But if you can't be that person, you got to be honest and be like, today I can sit you down, but I think, find more friends or whatever. There's better ways to word this out. But you get what I mean?
Maybe don't say
please
that,
go and-
but-
yeah, maybe don't say that. But
I can't offer you what you need right now.
different things, and it's like I gotta already figure out now what I want to focus time on and how I'm gonna do it and what I'm gonna give up, so that I'm prepared that once next year kicks in, I'm like, this is gonna be part of the routine. Let's get things going. You know?
Nice.
So I think that's my plan, lah.
I think for me it's similar, but it's kind of like choosing a few genres of contents that I want to make, because I feel like okay, so I've been a content creator for like 5-6 years, but my content is very random. Like it comes in spurts. Like if I want to talk about a toilet bowl, I'm gonna talk about it. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Whatever
But-
inspires you in
Yes.
that moment, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but for me, but I think that that actually limit kind of like my creativity in a way too. I mean, it's weird, right? It's like you have all the things that you can talk about, but it might be easier to ideate within a team if you have a common team. It's like if you're asking like people to ideate within games, then you'll be like, oh, let's do within games. Like you have a team, you have a genre, everybody has the same goal, and maybe because I have a team now, like a small team, like I need to be able to deliver what I want like effectively. So I think that's what I'm going to be focusing on, which is to figure out which genres I'm interested in, and then expanding on the genre, maybe push it into the edge a little bit. And then also probably just spending more time with my mom and my family.
Oh,
No, you
You
guys,
should have said that too.
No, you guys
Mom, I
are-
also want to spend more
Then, so I was like, since she has more time, maybe I want to travel more with her. Maybe I want to visit
Oh, that's
Europe or
nice.
something,
That's
you know.
nice, that's
And
nice.
since like I'm like doing okay, and since I do content, I kind of can like do content overseas as well.
Yeah.
So why not just like maybe buy
bring
an
your
extra?
mom along.
Yeah,
That's so sweet. I
It's-
love that.
You
yeah.
should do content with her.
Yeah, you
Would
should.
you make her do TikTok dances?
Oh my god.
Would you make her do cosplay?
Oh
my
my
I'm
god.
giving
Is
her
that
ideas.
what you want to see?
Yes.
Wait, what?
Slay, guys.
The
That's
next
what you want.
convention, people are more excited to take pictures with her
my
mom.
mom.
With the
As a
mom.
cashier.
Yeah.
No, but so many people took pictures with my mom though.
Oh, already?
Yeah. They're like, wait, you're Ru's mom? And then he's like, yeah. Oh my god, can we take a picture? He's like,
They're
"Yes."
buying the dip. They know that's a trend that's gonna go up next time. They're
Yeah.
like, take pictures
Buying
with
the
her
dip.
now. Yeah, like
Stonks.
next time she's too famous, cannot take picture with her anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's all, guys. Thank you so much, everyone here, for sharing all of your thoughts for the year and 2024 as well. I cannot believe we've done a whole year of BloomrPulse podcast episodes already. That is so crazy. We've got more in store for you guys for this year. So thank you again for following us, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you for the next episode. Bye.
Bye bye.